Sneak attack. Sneak attack. Oh my God, you guys. I'm gonna let everybody file in. Let's have this conversation. I'm gonna get my notes up. Welcome everybody to my channel. I am going to be doing, just for today and maybe next week, a review of Game of Thrones. I just finished watching the episode. I just figured out that I could watch the East Coast viewing of Game of Thrones. So if you guys are not watching this live, you're missing out. And I'm so sorry for everybody on the West Coast who can't watch this live, because this is going to be chocked filled with spoilers. So if you haven't watched it and you plan on watching it, do not watch this video. Yeah, guys, my name is Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my review of Game of Thrones Season 8, the season premiere, and it was exactly as it needed to be. Hello, everybody that's coming to the room right now. I need to jump and get started with this because I have other shows to watch. Does anybody else watch Discovery of Witches? A Discovery of Witches. I've read the books twice, or I've listened to them on audiobook twice, so I'm very well versed on that show, and it comes on at 9, and I'm gonna have to eat a little bit of dinner before I start to watch it. I've got my water. It is now, what time is it? 7:15. So I said we would get started at 7:15. So let's get started at 7:15. Okay. We took our Wi-Fi off. We're on 29%, but I think we can push through and make it. All right, there are 23 people in this room, 6 likes. If I could get some more likes, that'd be great. You guys talk amongst yourself in the chat room. I see Punky Reggae Party is here. I see Kiki is here. Nefertiti is here. Woo! We got all the heavy hitters, all the players. Laro is here. Carla's here. Jordan, yes, Jordan. Wasn't it perfect? It was. It was absolutely perfect. Okay, so let's start off with the opening scene. The opening scene is a little boy running, and girl, we don't know what is going on. It has been a whole ass year since we have seen season 7. I mean, it has been so long. They gave us a little bit of preview, so we got to like kind of remember what was going on. Hey, Lynn J, thank you so much for coming in. Seattle checking in, whoop whoop. But it's been such a long time that I just didn't know what was going on. I was like, you know, I still didn't get it. I'm actually having it play right now in the background, just so that I can kind of keep on track with the visual or whatnot. Okay, so a little boy is running, he's dodging, he's diving, it's cold. I can tell they're in Winterfell. I don't know exactly what's going on. And we see like army, we see like an army marching. And then we see Arya. And Arya is standing there like looking a little unassuming. I mean, she still doesn't look like a peasant, but you know, our heart flutters when we see Arya because we're just like, she became our champion after they killed Ned Stark. Like, I was just rooting for Arya the entire time. I wanted everything great to happen to her, and so far it has. I mean, she went through a lot, but girl. Okay, so then we see Daenerys, and we see, am I saying that girl's right? Daenerys? Yeah. We're seeing Daenerys, and we see Jon Snow on horses walking. And so we're like, oh, that's what's going on. Daenerys and Jon and the armies are coming to Winterfell, and like, Sansa just got to be there with open arms. So Arya, being the little spy, little snake she is just like standing there, and she sees Jon, and she hasn't seen Jon in, girl, I don't know how long, okay? Like, she literally hasn't seen Jon since they gave each other a hug and she went south to King's Landing. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I so emotional of these fictional people? I don't know. Anyways, so anyways, Arya sees Jon, and she has this exact reaction. And Jon doesn't see her, and so she has a moment where she's like, oh, like, you know, let down. But then we have to take in the majesty of Daenerys and Jon. I mean, as someone just said, Daenerys came through with the all white fit. I mean, and it had like ribs of red through it too. So it was like, I felt like she was like Ghost, you know, Jon's wolf. Where are the wolves? Do they all die? Can Ghost come back? I know what happened to Sansa's or Arya's wolf. Like, she met her wolf in the forest, and the wolf was like, yeah, we outgrew each other, so it was fun. Good luck to you. Helped you out. No, gotta go. And where did Ghost go? Did he die? I don't remember what happened to the wolves. But I feel like I need 1 or 2 to come back, because just the way my brain works, I kind of want it to be rounded out. Anyways, so she's wearing the really cute outfit. The procession keeps going. We see the eunuch and Daenerys' lady's maid. Don't know their names. I don't know the only people of color. And we see them walking, and they're just looking at like, oh my God, all of these filthy white people. What is happening? That is what I'm like. What else could they be thinking? Like, these people don't like us. And I feel like the people in the North have never seen a person of color, so they are like, who are you? Are you guys horse people? Are you Dothraki? Like, what? They don't know what's going on. And so, Missandei and Grey Worm. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. So they gave us that moment of them like being confused and seeing all these peasants. And then Jon says to Daenerys, like, hey, I told you these people were hardcore. Like, they don't trust you. So this is all the fanfare you're going to get. And I was like, she better take what she can get. She don't know these people. She never been in the snow. She don't know these, like, respect those of the North is what I feel. Respect the North. Okay. So then her dragons fly over and everybody's scared and running, and she like smirks to herself. And I was a little bit like, okay, Daenerys, like, anybody would be scared of your dragons. That doesn't teach them a lesson. They still need you to prove to them who you are. And then they had this long ass walk to Winterfell. I mean, I feel like from when we saw them walking through the village to when they finally got to Winterfell, I'm sure it was another 30 minutes, and those soldiers are walking around with all that shield and all those things. I was like, whoo, this is stressful. So then we have a moment with Sansa and Tyrion. And oh, no. Sorry, I'm skipping. What do dragons eat? That's where we're going next. So they get into the Great Hall, and all of the houses are stepping up, basically saying, Jon, what'd you do? We swore fealty to you. We don't know who she is. Why did you swear fealty to her? You left as king, and you've come back as what? And Sansa's like, yeah, what? So they're trying to figure out like who's going to come where, who's going to do what. Sansa tells a little boy, some kind of king or something, go home, get your peoples and come back and we'll take care of it and it'll be fine. And so the little boy says, okay. And he leaves. And then that meeting is over because it ends with what do dragons eat? And Daenerys says whatever they want, trying to show like a show of, trying to show like a show of force and strength. I'm on Daenerys' side, but I'm not on her side over the North. Is that weird? Does anyone else feel that way? Like, I feel like Daenerys could literally run over any other kingdom, but the North, there's a special space in my heart that filled with the North when Ned Stark died. Like, I literally was like 10 years ago, and I'm still upset about Ned Stark. Like, I'm still talking about him. He was a fool. Now that we know how you play the Game of Thrones, but like I'm still just like, oh my God, like no, the North must win. Winterfell and the Starks have gone through it. They need a beautiful outcome. They need an amazing outcome. So yeah, the North is, my fealty is to the North. So I feel the Northerners when it comes to Daenerys and her little smug attitude about it. I was like, I need you to calm down, miss. But at the same time, I still love Daenerys. And so what happens after that? Tyrion stands up and says, hey, I know that we've been fighting for like hundreds of years, but there is a bigger threat, and it is the White Walkers, and, you know, we've got to come together, and my sister's going to be bringing troops. And Sansa's like, that bitch is not sending shit. And I was like, damn, when did Sansa get so hardcore? I mean, I really wasn't on Sansa's side until she killed Littlefinger. Otherwise, I was still Team Arya. Everyone's talking about, everyone's still upset about Ned Stark, girl. Okay, 66 people in this room, 11 likes. Let's get some thumbs up. Let's get some people who have just finished watching it, who want to come into this room. Let's explain to them or show them that they should come into this room by giving some likes. Okay. So then we have Sansa and Tyrion have like a little reunion on the balcony. And I thought Sansa was going to be kind of like salty to him. And she kind of was, but the girl's been through it and I understand why. But she's like, you know, I used to think you were smart, but no, I don't anymore. If you think your sister's going to come and help you. I think Sansa learned so much more being in King's Landing than we will ever truly understand. She's learned so much because she was an asshole in the beginning of this whole situation, and I didn't want anything good to come out of her. Like, if she had died, I would have been okay. If she would have been the only Stark, that I would have been okay who had passed. All right. So, are they still married? Because he said, my wife took off on me. Technically? Did she marry? She didn't marry Littlefinger. Who did she marry? Oh, she married the bastard. And Littlefinger. Oh, well. Okay. Anyways, so after that, Jon and Arya have their reunion at the tree. And Arya sneaks up on Jon, and Jon's like, how did you sneak up on me? And she's like, Jon has no idea who Arya is. He just sees his little sister. Like, I think he can tell that she's hardcore because she's got like needle and then she's got that dagger. But he's still looking at her like little Arya. And I think she got the opportunity to be little Arya. There was this moment where they hugged and she like is telling him, you know, not telling him anything, but there's this like moment between them. And at the end of the hug, she says that she's there to protect the family. And I'm just like, you fucking get it, Arya. You get it, girl. They, as much as I hate Cersei, all of the women in this show are very strong. And I love that about Game of Thrones. Okay, so next we go to Cersei. And Cersei is in bright and sunny King's Landing, girl. It is like a complete juxtaposition between the weather up north and the weather in King's Landing. And her hand comes up to her and tells her there's bad news and that the wall has been breached. And she smiles and says, great, that's amazing news. And then we see that the Iron Fleet is on its way to her because she has had dealings with the like cousin of the Greyjoys, not Dog, what's his name? Not the eunuch and not the sister, but the cousin or whatever who came from wherever all of a sudden and then just took over the Iron Islands. And so she had a pact with him that if he went off and got her an army, she would have sex with him. So now he's back, ready to get it in. And he's a little extra. He's definitely a little extra. And he's got his cousin, the girl, in the bows of the ship because he's captured her. Remember, they had that fight. He took over the ships and he captured her, but the Greyjoy boy got away. He ran, actually. And we were just like, oh, he is a punk. And so then there's this guy with them called Captain Strickland. And I think he's a new character. He was only in that one scene. And I'm sure he's going to come back again. But he was only in that one scene. And then we see this scene between Cersei and the guy, the Iron Islands guy. I can't remember his name. And he's just like, so you said you were going to give me some. And she was like, you're so insolent. And he was like, but you said you were going to give me some. And she was like, okay, come. I was just like, damn, Cersei. She's like, it's been a minute. She's like, my brother left, so I haven't had sex in a long time. That is the grossest sentence I've ever said in my entire life. Euron Greyjoy, great. He's their uncle. Ah, he's their uncle. He was a young uncle. Okay. That was the grossest sentence I've ever said in my entire life. Yeah. Okay. So, so she goes on some rant about you have to earn the queen. And he's just like, I did earn the queen. So they end up having sex. And he wants her to rate him amongst the men she's been with, namely her husband and her brother. Her twin brother. And then she's like, oh, you're so ballsy, but I like that. And he's like, great, I'm going to give you a little prince in that belly. Boop, boop. And he leaves. And she's just like smirking to herself. And I'm like, this is the grossest thing. It's just so gross. It's just so gross. Like, ooh, how bold to ask that question, girl. How bold. Also, she really wanted elephants. I'm like, did you? He's like, I can't take elephants across a whole ass ocean. And she's like, I really wanted those elephants. And I'm like, for what? To fight the dragons? What did you want those elephants for? No, Cersei is not pregnant. She faked the pregnancy so that everybody would think that she would be on their side because she had the baby. But she doesn't have a baby. That's why she's ruthless. And that's why her brother took off, because he's like, you gave your word. You gave the Lannister word that you would send help. And I think he, A, is scared of the White Walkers, and B, low-key still loves his little brother. And so he's like, he had to choose his little brother over his sister, because his sister just like, she made him lie. She made him break an oath, and he was just not into that. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, and then Euron. No, not Euron. What's his name? The eunuch? The Greyjoy boy? The one who who went against the Starks and then ended up getting castrated by the bastard. Anyways, he came and saved his sister. Who knew? It's what we needed, though. His sister needed saving because she came and saved him. And then he, just punked out at every single moment. And now he's come back. Theon. Thank you, Theon. So Theon's gone to save his sister. And he really wanted to go back after he saves his sister. So his sister ends up taking off with 3 of the ships and going back to the Iron Islands because she says there's going to need to be a stronghold in the Iron Islands if this all goes south. And we know White Walkers cannot walk on water. So it's a good plan. And she's also probably I'm fucking tired. I spent 2 months in the bowels of a ship. Who knows what Euron did to her? Who knows what he did to her? So she's like, I'm going home. But you could do what you want to do. Let's give us a hug. and then Theon goes on his way. Okay. So then the old men get together. We're back at Winterfell. And there's so many names, but the Fire King's advisor, he's not the Fire King. The guy the king who worked with Melisandre, who is the fire priestess. Remember the daughter with the skin problem? There was an advisor, that guy, he's in Winterfell. Then the eunuch from King's Landing, the bald man and his little birds, they're in Winterfell. And Tyrion is in Winterfell, and they're talking about what needs to happen between these two. Because the dude is like, yo, the northern people are not going to accept Daenerys. So y'all need to do something. You need to figure something out. You need to win their loyalty. And someone was like, they should just get married. That's the way to do it. Davos! Come through, everybody. You guys know all these people's names. Great. The Lord of Light dude. So Davos is the one who was like, they need to get married. And I agree. They need to get married. That's the only other thing that could make this work out, is that they need to get married. Meanwhile, Bran is telling everybody, look, we need to tell Jon who he is. We need to tell him that he's the 6th of his name. We need to tell him he's Targaryen sleeping with his auntie. And then Sansa doesn't like the queen. And Daenerys, not the queen, Daenerys. Sansa doesn't like Daenerys, obviously for obvious reasons. She don't trust no bitch. You know what I'm saying? Sansa's like, I don't trust no bitch. You're not my family. I don't trust you. And so they're talking about that, Daenerys and Jon. And Daenerys is like, she doesn't have to love me. We don't have to be friends, but she has to respect me as her queen. And Jon is just like, she doesn't like me either, so I don't know what to tell you. Then they get on the back of dragons and they go for a ride on the dragons. And I don't know how no one in this scenario is going like, what's so special about Jon to the point where the dragons will allow him to touch them? I don't think the dragons have touched anyone or let anybody ride them, as far as my memory serves. So I feel that somebody must be thinking something's up with the fact that Jon is able to, full on ride it. And the dragon is not fighting. And then they get off and they're at this beautiful waterfall. And I guess it alludes to the fact that they're going to have sex. And the dragon is staring intently at Jon. And I didn't know if I was supposed to get something out of this. I didn't know. I just was like, what is happening? Is this dragon is like, yeah, get it. Or what? I don't know. But yeah, I know Jon is a Targaryen. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the fact that he's able to ride this dragon, how come no one is thinking what is so special about Jon to where the dragons are liking him? Or do they think that Daenerys has so much power over the dragons that anyone that she likes, they like and will allow to ride? Do not know. Do not know. But yes, I know that it's because of that. I just am thinking that it's no one's putting 2 and 2 together is what I'm saying. Okay. And also while he was riding the dragons, I was scared for him. I was scared for him. I don't know if this is a show and that he's not going to die in this episode. I was like, oh my God, get down. It was dumb. It was so dumb. And then the next scene we have is Sam, and he is Sam Tully. He's in the archives. I guess Winterfell has a library all of a sudden, and he's doing his work. And the guy who had the snake skin problem, he comes in. Oh, his name starts with a J. You guys will tell me. I don't know. Anyways, so he comes in and he brings in Targaryen. Jorah! Thank you, Serendipity. So Jorah comes in and he brings in Daenerys to meet Sam. And Sam is like, oh, Your Majesty, yeah, I did save him. You know, I did what I had to do. And Daenerys is like, thank you so much. You know, how can I reward you? He says he would like a pardon because he stole some stuff, and that, you know, he's having a little bit of trouble with his family. And then Daenerys, which I found to be very admirable of her, she like stepped up and told him that she killed his brother and his father. Sam was very upset. I was like, wow, they're really trying to tell us that Sam is of a different breed, because he stood up there and almost damn cried in front of Daenerys. Like, I mean, I know his father sucked, right? But his brother, I think, was like the hardest thing. And I didn't even really know he had a brother, because in the beginning, when we saw him with his family, I don't think that his brother was there. Remember when he brought Tilly, I think her name is, and the baby to the house? I don't remember the brother being there. But anyway, so he was really upset about his brother and he had to run off. And that's when Bran tells him that he needs to tell Jon the truth, and he doesn't want to. He's scared, but he ends up doing it because I think he's so mad at Daenerys and the fact that his brother died, that she killed his brother, and that he even says, like, would you have done that? He's like, you know, Jon is like, I don't know if I would have killed your brother or not. He's like, would you let people go? He's like, yeah, but I wasn't king. Jon is the most reluctant king. The most reluctant. He just doesn't want to be it. He's like, no, I really don't want this. I just want some sheep. I want a farm. Okay? That's all I want, is to be a sheep farmer. Why does everyone keep on trying to make me king? I only do it because I have to, because I'm my daddy's son. Ned. His daddy's Ned. All right. So he tells him, Sam tells Jon, you can literally see Jon's whole world realigning. Like, he literally steps back and is just like, but, and like, you can see it be like, and all the things just click in his head. Because he's like, my dad wouldn't have lied to me. My father's the most honorable man. And he's like, yeah, your father is honorable. And he promised his sister that he would never let anything happen to you because his best friend would have killed you. So he let everyone think that he had stepped out on his wife, had a child, and then he brought you to his house so that you could be raised as a Stark. Girl, calm down. Calm down. Girl, love me some Ned Stark. Woo! 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 Okay. And so he's just like, I don't know. Like, I can't say anything. And he says it's treason. And then Sam says it's the truth. And it's like, how do you even broach that? Would Daenerys give up her throne? Y'all, I don't think she would. Truth be told, the dragons would have to go under his control for him to give up his throne, give up her throne. And I don't even think Jon wants to be king. I don't even think Daenerys really wants to be queen. I mean, she's just spent so many years conditioning to be in this role that I think she thinks that's what she wants. But Jon for sure knows that's not what he wants. So I really don't know. I really don't know. Sixth of his name. His name's like Ergon or something like that. Sixth of his name. Okay. So then we cut to the scene where we have the Wildling, the hot one, the hot redheaded Wildling, who is somehow still alive, girl. Remember he got up with the band of like the one-eyed and the fire people? Like, no, I'm explaining that wrong. Okay. So you know how there was a group of men who got together because one of the guys had a vision while looking in the fire saying that he needed to be in a certain place to do stuff, right? So he got his friends together and they are now on a mission to help out Jon and the King of the North. So they've got the Wildling and they've got the guy who is a night watchman, and they're just like combing the lands, kind of looking around to see what's going on. And they get to the house of that little boy that I talked about, the little boy who was in Winterfell when Daenerys got there, not the little boy running around, but the like king or whatever, the like little lord. And they get to his house and they're like skulking around trying to figure out what's going on, and they run into each other and they realize that the Night King has already been there and he sent a message. So they realize that they are in between the Night King and Winterfell. So they're here, Winterfell is here, and the Night King and the army are here. So there's not even a real palpable way that they can beat the Night Army, the Night King and the army of the dead to Winterfell to warn them that they're on their way. Somehow they bypass them. Oh, girl, this is a lot. These people are really strong. So where's Brienne of Tarth is what I want to know. Where's she at? I don't remember what happened to her. I don't remember why she's not there. She was there. Did she get sent on a mission? Because she was at Winterfell last time I remember. Remember she had that duel with Arya? And she's like sworn fealty to Sansa because of her mother, because of Sansa's mother. So I don't know. I'm wondering where she's at. Oh, his name is hiding from Tormund, the Wildling. Oh, what? She was there? You saw her? Did I see her in the scene where they're all sitting in the Winterfell, like, throne room? Is that where we saw her? I don't know. Let me know what you guys remember. Okay, so yeah, and then they had to burn the kid because the kid was a White Walker, and then there was like arms all around him in the shape. That is some sick craziness. Arms around him in the shape of like some kind of sigil. And I guess that is the Night King's thing. I don't know. And then we have the last scene, which was really good. It was a really good end of the season, of the episode. We have this hooded figure who looks like he's haggard, and he is on a horse, and he's riding up, and he goes into Winterfell, and he gets off his horse, and he takes off his hood, and it is Jaime Lannister. He gets off his horse, he turns around, and his whole spirit just jumped out of the back of his body because he sees Bran. And that's where this shit all started. It was like a full, complete circle. The kid he pushed out the window to kill in order to hide the secret that he was doing doggy style with his twin sister. Blood. And Bran's all grown up in a wheelchair staring at him. Bran was waiting for him because when Bran told Sam to tell Jon, that was at night. And Jaime didn't get there till the morning. And Bran was still sitting there talking about waiting for an old friend. Woo. Woo. So, hey, Kimberly, what are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? Now that we're done, we're 27 minutes. Guy, I recapped that in 27 minutes. That was pretty good. I feel good about it. What do you guys think? There are 101 people in this room and only 31 likes? For shame. For shame on you. Go on ahead and let's talk about it. Okay, Kimberly, you've never seen Game of Thrones, girl. This is not the room for you. Thank you so much, Brick Brack. Okay, give it a thumbs up, you guys. Give it a thumbs up. Thanks, Tyler. Welcome. I've never seen you before, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks, Bobby. This was it was an hour. So was it short? I don't think it was that short. The intro wasn't super, super long. I think that HBO did like 2 minutes of like other stuff and they gave us a preview. I think that as the episodes go on, they will be longer. That's at least what my hope is. But this was jam-packed with everything we need. The one thing I can say about Game of Thrones is that they give us almost everything we need in every single episode. It's only in the middle episodes when it got a little like hard to get through. That's when I actually stopped watching it because those middle episodes were just like, I mean, the middle seasons were just like, girl, like season 3 and 4, I was like, what? Actually, season 4 and 5, I was like, what? And then wait, when was the Red Wedding? Is that season 3? It was good up until the Red Wedding. And then after that, I just was like, couldn't watch it anymore. And then I had to catch back up because season 6, 7, and 8 I was into. Well, 8 is now. But yeah. Episode 3 is 73 minutes. Woo, girl. Episode 2 is going to be 58 minutes. Episode 3 is going to be 78 minutes. And episode 4 through 6 is going to be 80 minutes. They are giving me everything we are going to like. We're going to love. We're going to love it. We're going to love it. I happen to have Saturdays and Sundays off for the next 2 weekends. So this was my first weekend, so I have it for 2 more weekends. So I will be able to do this next weekend and the weekend after that, but after that I won't be able to. So we won't be able to do lives. But yeah, you guys, so that is the end of my recap. If you guys are not watching this live, you guys can go ahead and check out here. I'm going to continue to go on to talk to the people who are in the room so that we can have a conversation. If you want to, please follow along. You can see the chat on the side of your screen if you're watching it on YouTube, but if you're watching it on your phone, you just have to go into the live chat so you can see what people are saying. Okay. Oh, Adama, you missed it. It's 44 in the morning. Where are you at? Oh, it's not on Netflix. I was like, you can binge it on HBO, but like, yeah, it's not on Netflix. You got to get somebody with an HBO password if they still do that, or get HBO Now for like a month and then just binge it. Oh, the Netherlands. Okay, so it's 4:44 in the morning in the Netherlands. Okay, Paulette. So if you have HBO, you can catch up on HBO on demand, Paulette is saying. Okay, yes to the longer showtime. People on the West Coast are going to start watching it very soon. So I was able to get the East Coast showing, so I was really excited about it. I already said all that, though, so you guys know. Lord Umber. You guys, Serendipity. Serendipity, you literally know everybody's name. That is so cool. I can't keep up with it. I cannot keep up with it. I have HBO. I just have no patience to wait every week for these to drop. Oh, no, Kimberly, then binge it. No, Kimberly. If anything, you have to watch season 1. Just commit to season 1. You will. Season 1 is so good. I feel like season 1 changed how seasons of these kind of episodic shows need to be. I also love that they're cutting it off at season 8. Really, they could have cut it off at like season 6 had they done it right. And they took out a lot from the books. I couldn't even get through the first book. I tried 3 different times to read the first book. 2 with my eyeballs and once with an audiobook. And if I can't get through a book with an audiobook, it's too much. It's just too much information. And I was able to read all of the Lord of the Rings, not as audiobook, with my eyeballs. And I was able to read, I didn't read all of The Hobbit. What did I do with The Hobbit? I wasn't interested in The Hobbit, but the Lord of the Rings, I was able to read all of those books. And I just couldn't get through Game of Thrones. It was way too many characters. It was too much. All right, so let's talk about the end of episode preview. Okay, so the episode preview, what did they even tell us was going to happen? Something juicy. The Night King is coming. The Night King is coming. Let me fast forward this so I can see the end of it. The Night King is coming, and it looks like it's going to be a really good episode. It looks like every single episode of this season is going to be a good episode. Like, if there's no fillers, you know, they just got to get all the information out to us. Yes, the Night King. I thought I was the only person that was confused about the Night King because I feel like he just showed up. Like, all of a sudden, we realized that one weirdo in the woods that was in between the Wildlings and Winterfell, you know, the one dude who married all his daughters and had babies from his daughters, that guy, we realized that he was sacrificing babies, like the male babies, to the Night King and his peeps. But like, that's all, that was my first introductory to the Night King. And I was just like, what does this mean? And how did they stop the Night King before? I mean, I know they've talked about it, and I know that's why the wall exists, but they never really went into, like, everybody thinks that the wall is there to stop the Wildlings, but no, the wall is there, and it's been there for 1,000 years to stop the Night King. And everybody's completely forgotten that lore, except for the Raven. And now the Raven is Bran, and Bran is trying to put it all together. And that whole mystical part where the little imps and Hodor, I mean, girl, Kimberly, watch it. Like, I mean, it's just so much that I wish they had gone more into that and not told us about other things. What could they have gotten rid of? I mean, they could have just really got rid of a whole season 4. Like, still tell us about Arya and her dealings, you know, and all that stuff, because that's really interesting. But I just wish they had gone really more into the lore. So someone just said that Gilly kept her son by her father, but that's her baby and that's all she knew. I mean, think about it. You don't know anything else? You don't know. You don't know that other people aren't living like that, and that's your kid. Like, you don't know. All right, let me fast forward again. I was fast. Oh, he's gotten off the horse, girl. Jamie's getting off the horse. He's gonna turn around and see Bran and like fall out of his skin. he's like, I seen a ghost. I'm like, yeah, you're the reason all this started. I mean, really, what started this? I really think it was that. Catherine wouldn't let it go, you know? Ned Stark had to go down. It really feels like it was Robert Baratheon. It was such a waste of a king. Okay. So we see people are kissing each other. Missandei. Oh, he gets in front of everybody. So Jaime gets in front of everybody. And Daenerys starts to talk about how her and her brother would imagine killing Jaime because Jaime was the one who killed their father. Now, here's my thing. The Mad King needed to die. Everyone agrees. So why would she care that her father died? She didn't even know him. He was crazy. And then
you never should have trusted Cersei. You never should have.
So trusting Cersei.
She's got many faces. I look forward to seeing this one.
I don't know what they're saying. Look forward to seeing this one. Arya is planning some kind of crazy nonsense. I'm so excited for her. Ooh, and Arya also got, what's his name, to make her a blade. Robert Baratheon's bastard. You remember him from season 1? She was getting him to make her something. So she's got something in the works. Maybe it was something with a, I feel like it's a knife that can like, boom, and shoot out and come back. So she can just like shoot White Walkers at a distance. Or if it doesn't come back, then it goes, but she has more like dragon glass to be like, boom, 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 you know? That's what I thought her little mechanism that she gave him to make for her was. But yeah, the winter is coming to Winterfell for sure. The Night King is coming. And that's a crazy thing about the Night King, bro, is that when people die, they join his army. So you have to like burn everybody. It's crazy. Okay. What books? What are you guys talking about? Hold the door. Hold the door. You know, I like the dragon riding part. I thought it like really tried to tell us how much of a Targaryen he is. That's like a marriage show did. Gendry. Wow, what are your predictions? Who dies? I don't know. You would never know in Game of Thrones, Kimberly. Like, you literally never know who's going to die. That's why you need to watch season 1. It doesn't follow the same formula as most shows. And the writer, George Martin, he's got a lot of initials in it somewhere. But he writes very, like, every chapter is a new person in King's Landing and in the Seven Kingdoms doing something. So it's like all the pieces are moving on the chess and he's telling the story at the same time. So it's kind of hard to keep up with. But people die left and right without any cause. So that's what makes it so great. That's what makes it so great watching Game of Thrones, because you literally never know who's going to die. Thank you so much, Genesis. Thank you. All right, we're approaching 40 minutes. You guys know I don't like to keep these lives very long. So anybody else have anything else to say? Who's Gendry? I said it. I know I was like, who's that person's name? I don't know who you're talking about now. I think that was a random White Walker, the one Jon Snow saw. The Night King was afterwards when we saw him turn the baby into a White Walker in the Land of Always Winter. Did you read the book Serendipity? Because the Land of Always Winter, what is that? See, they didn't explain any of that to us. And I feel like we need to know what it is. Oh, Gendry is the Baratheon bastard. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Making the blade. Yeah, he's the bladesmith. The blacksmith. It was the end of one of the episodes. No, I saw that. Serendipity. That's what I'm saying. Like, that is when we got introduced to the Night King, but there was no other information given besides the fact that one incestuous rapist dude was giving his male babies offspring to the Night King. I just need to know more about it. No, yeah, I know he's a Baratheon. He's the Baratheon bastard. He's one of Robert's children that Ned Stark was trying to keep safe and alive and healthy when he was alive. There's a hot theory that Littlefinger is alive and figured out Arya's face technique and escaped Winterfell because he knew they were into him. Oh, I hope that's not true. I wanted Littlefinger to die. The name always Winter comes from too many YouTube videos. Oh. And do the babies grow up? No, the babies don't grow up. They showed us how the Night King was created. Oh, did they? Oh, yeah, people who read the books would know, absolutely. To be children White Walkers. I think Arya took Littlefinger's face. Oh. I mean, that would be good. That would be worth her while. Why not? She should take everybody's face. Anyone who dies, just take their face so she could just use it for her advantage. I mean, that makes her an amazing spy, right? Okay, so the Children of the Forest. So why are they changing? The Children of the Forest. The Children of the Forest, they shoved the dragon glass into the guy's chest. Oh. I wish there was just a book that explained that. I would read that book. I don't want to have to go searching through any books to figure it out. Take everybody's face so she could be the best spy ever. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for the information, and thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'm going to do this next week and probably the week after if I'm available. And after that, I won't be able to do it because I won't be home on Sundays to watch it at 6 p.m. I will have to watch it on Sunday when I get home and then film a video. And you guys know that takes so long, and I got to edit it and I got to put it up, and it probably won't be up until Wednesdays after that. But thank you guys so much for joining me this time. 52 people in this room, 52 likes. That makes me happy. All right, you guys, have a fantastic evening, and good night to those of you who are on the East Coast, and good morning to those of you who are in Europe, and good evening to those of you who are in the West Coast, and the people in the middle. Hello. All right, have a fantastic day, and remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.